Hey up, Mr. Josh here, and welcome to video number 10 for Listen Understanding. Has it really been 10 weeks that I've been doing this? Whew, feels like longer. Anyhow, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to click on the link down below. That will take you to my website where you can download a question sheet. Open the questions and you'll see a link to YouTube just under the title. Watch that video as many times as you like, answer the questions, then come back here to see how many questions you got right and wrong. Whoa, 10 videos. I can't believe I've been doing this for 10 weeks. Feels so much longer. How's it going for you? Are you learning anything? No? Oh well, can't win them all. So in this video we have Edd China, who maybe you know him if you're into cars. He used to be on a program called Wheeler Dealers with another chap called Mike Brewer, where they would take an old car, repair it, make it better, then try and sell it for a profit, theoretically. But after 130 something cars, he decided he needed a break from it for one reason or another. So just for today, he's on Car Throttle with his 90 mile an hour record-breaking fastest furniture in the world sofa. So the other chap in the video, Alex, he is the Car Throttle regular host. Think of him like a YouTube Jeremy Clarkson. And they're going to try to live for a day with the sofa and see how it goes. Anyway, let's get into this. I have my trusty tablet, so let's go. Living with a 90 mile an hour sofa. Question number 1. After a brief intro, we see Edd and Alex sitting on a sofa in the glorious English countryside. What 3 questions does Alex ask Edd? Well, first thing he says is, "Hungry, Edd?" Then it's, "Burger? Your couch or mine?" By the way, just for the record, English countryside is always glorious. I don't know why, after living in England for 40 years and having worked in the English countryside for a good part of that, don't see it myself, but it's always the glorious English countryside. Moving on. Question 2. As they bomb down the road on Edd's sofa, Alex says that Edd is a professional what? Well, very briefly, as they're screaming around the roundabout, Alex says that Edd is a professional tall bloke. And you might be thinking, what? A professional what? So a bloke is like the English equivalent of what the Americans call a guy. It's just a man. And Edd is a very tall bloke, indeedy. The other thing you might not know in this question is the expression to bomb down the road. Now, this is not anything like it sounds, and a couple of people put this in the translator and it came up with some very interesting results in their language. But basically what it means, if you're bombing down a road, it just means you're driving very fast. It's got nothing to do with anything violent, okay? Question number 3. Edd tells Alex that now he's a bodybuilder, he should have a high definition wax, which is like a sack, back and crack. What is a sack, back and crack? So this is a green question, so you need to go off and find it on the interweb. And well, basically, I can't believe I wrote this question. Why did I write this question? Basically, a sack, back and crack is when a man has all the hair removed from his cheeky bits, everything from like the midway down. That is your back, your sack and your crack. If you need more information than that, just email me and we'll go into greater detail. Why did I write that question? Anyways, moving on. Question 4. How much are they charged for having the sofa cleaned? In short, nothing. The guys were so impressed they said, nah, you can have it for free. So I guess that's one of the advantages of having a sofa. Question number 5. How many wheels did the sofa have when Edd first built it? So when he first built it, it only had 3 wheels. And he talks about he was making like a Reliant Robin idea. If you don't know what a Reliant Robin is, it's basically the most disgraceful thing in automotive history that England has ever created. It was a stupid plastic thing, had 1 wheel at the front, 2 at the back, and it was basically a death trap, and it's the source of many a joke in England. In fact, Clarkson on Top Gear tried to drive one for I don't know how many miles it was, and he just kept rolling the car over at every corner. Question number 6. The underpinnings of the sofa are mostly made from a Mini. True or false? This is true. And when he says a Mini, he means a proper Mini, as in the classic Mini, not the new Minis, which are basically scaled down BMWs. Blech! Now, underpinnings is something you might not have heard of, and it basically just means what is underneath it. Sometimes they talk about buildings, the underpinnings of a building, like the foundations. So it's just whatever supports the thing that you're talking about. Question number 7. How tall is Edd? Well, Edd says he is 5'19", which is an impossible measurement because there's no such thing. What he actually is 6'7", because there's only 12 inches to the foot. Okay, so 5'19" is impossible. 6'7" is what he is, which works out at 2 meters and 4 centimeters. So yeah, he's a properly tall bloke. Question number 8. Edd says the lack of any safety equipment can make your sphincter start to really pucker. What does it mean if your sphincter starts to pucker? So this is another green question, which you basically need to go and search for. But if your sphincter starts to pucker, it basically means all the muscles in your arse start to clench out of fear. You know what they sometimes call an edge of the seat moment. It's like, yeah. Your sphincter is the muscle that holds everything in underneath you. Just Google it if you really need to know. The word pucker can also have a couple of different meanings. So probably the most traditional way you'll hear it is pucker up, meaning get ready for a kiss. You know. But also for people of London, if something is pucker, it means it's really good. So I could say this tablet of mine is really pucker. And I've probably just cursed myself now and it'll probably fall to pieces. Question number 9. What is the function of the 2 flower pots on the table? Well, the 2 flower pots on the table are basically the indicators or turn signals or whatever you want to call them. Question number 10. Edd uses the video to plug or promote his new book. How much does Alex say he must pay for this? Every time he plugs his book, he has to give Alex £10 or a tenner, as he says, which is quite reasonable given how many views this video had. Question 11. They pull up outside a post office so Edd can run an errand. What does it mean to run an errand? So this is another green question that you need to go off and find. Now, there is a difference between what is the strict correct meaning of to run an errand and what is the everyday reality. Technically speaking, to run an errand is if I asked you to go out and do something for me, like, you know, I'm getting low on whiskey, can you go out and get me another bottle? That would be you running an errand for me. But in everyday life, we just say, oh, I've got to run some errands when we're actually just doing it for ourselves. So it's just like a short trip to go and do something. Question number 12. Has the petrol pump attendant ever seen a drivable sofa before? Basically, no, he hasn't, which is no surprise. Although I have seen this sofa because I used to live and work in the same area that Edd does. And I saw it a couple of times bombing down the road. And yeah, the first time I saw it, it's like, what the in hell is that? Question 13. What does Alex try to do while Edd drives to their next point of interest? Well, Alex is trying to read Edd's new book and failing quite miserably at it. Question 14. What goes wrong as they arrive at McDonald's? Well, basically the thing breaks down due to an unknown gremlin in the electrics, but Edd soon gets it fixed again in about 7 minutes according to Alex, so good hope. It's a funny thing, but mechanics' cars are always breaking down because they're the cars that get the least love. It's like a chef never cooks at home, and if you ever go to the house of someone that's a builder, their house is in ruins all the time. Question 15. How many years has it been since Edd last had food from McDonald's? Well, if you can call it food, and let's be honest, you don't think you really can, but the last time he ate from a McDonald's was 20 years ago. Question 16. Edd says that some people find works of art personally offensive. Does he sometimes get a similar reaction from people when they see him on his sofa? Basically, yes they do, and you see a brief little snippet of it when he's talking at the window that the guy that you can't see says, yeah, I love it, I'd come out and talk to you about it, and the girl just says, no, and she has the definition of a face like a smacked ass. She's wholly unimpressed. Question 17. What did they do next after leaving McDonald's? Well, after leaving McDonald's, they go for a drive on the motorway. Question 18. Alex says that driving on the motorway is easily the scariest thing he has done with a man on a sofa. True or false? Absolutely true. And if you stop and think about this, there is a joke in there. You know, think about it. What would you do with a man on a sofa? Question 19. How far are they travelling on the sofa? So this is a trick question because we don't know how far they are travelling, but we do know how fast they are travelling. They are travelling at 70 miles an hour. So if you put anything other than we don't know, you're wrong. Question 20. Alex says that in the event of a rollover, Edd's head would hit the deck first. What does this mean? Well, basically, if the thing was to roll over, you know, flip, then Edd's head would hit the ground first. That's what we mean by the deck. Normally when you talk about a deck, you think of like the deck of a ship. But Londoners, we use the word deck to mean floor. Any floor. Doesn't matter if it's in a house or outside. It is the deck. Question 21. What does the Turkish bar and drinks can control? Well, the Turkish bar controls the gear. The thing's automatic, so you just pull it back into drive. And the Guinness can is the brake and handbrake at the same time. Question 22. Alex asked Edd how he managed to do 87 miles an hour on the sofa. What's Edd's reply? Well, basically Edd says he has balls of steel. You would need it for that. Question 23. What is the official name of the drivable sofa? The official name is the casual loafer. Again, this is another one that, although he does say what it is, twice in fact, you could just Google it and find the answer. Question 24. Alex says that the sofa is quite possibly the craziest and most awful thing he has driven in his life. True or false? False. He says it is the craziest and most awesome thing he has driven in his life. Not awful. Completely different. And finally, question 25. How much is the total bill for Alex plugging Edd's new book? So the total bill is £30 because he mentioned it 3 times. Just a minute, I'll tell you when it was. It was once at 4 minutes and 26 seconds, once at 6 minutes and 24 seconds, and then finally at 15 minutes and 4 seconds. So 3 times, 30 quid. So there we go. Video number 10 completed. I hope you got some useful information out of it, and if nothing else, that it gave you a bit of a giggle. So next week, there's going to be a bit of a change. Recently, I've been doing 3 videos a week, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. These videos come out on a Saturday. But as of this coming week, these listening and understanding videos will be coming out on Thursday, and on Monday I'll be doing one of my regular sort of ranty advice type things. So I'm going from 3 videos a week down to 2, because basically I just don't have the time and energy to do 3 anymore. So stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you on Monday. Don't forget, subscribe, playlist, like, and why not share? Share the love. At the end of the day, I'm doing this for free. So if you know someone else who could make use of these things, pass it around. You never know, they might like it. Anyway, I'm going to go. Bye for now.